In this video, we'll be learning how to rearrange and customize our workspace. This is specifically for these panels over here on the right side. You notice in the last lesson how you can see different panels behind some of them. They're hiding, but they're here available for us to use. But some of these we don't use, and there are others that I want to add to my workspace that I use a lot when designing and editing photos in Photoshop. To rearrange and move panels, what you can do is literally click and drag and move out your panel. So say I just click and drag the library out here. I can leave it there, or I can add it somewhere else. I can add it to anywhere really on the workspace. When I have it hovering and I'm clicking and dragging and holding it, and say I have it and you see that blue line pop up, that's where if I let go, it pops into place. So say I want to put libraries above this adjustments and style panel, I can just click and drag it and hold it until this entire bar is blue and then drop. If I want to put it back within this panel, or say I want to put it in this top panel, I can just click and drag it until the entire panel is highlighted in blue and drop it. And I can rearrange these panels, the order of them, just by clicking and dragging to the left. If I want to get rid of this panel, what I can do is drag it out here and click the X button. Or another thing we can do, which is what I'll show you with this styles panel, which I don't use really ever, I can just right click any of these panels and close it so it's not there anymore. Here's another one that I don't want to use, the device preview, so I can right click this and close it. If I want to reopen any of those panels or find new panels to open up, I can go to Window. And then here between 3D and Tool Presets, these are all the panels that you can open up. One panel that I use all the time is the Character panel. And you notice when I click the Character panel, it opens up right here in this sort of toolbar right here. If I want to move these panels over here to the right side with these big windows, I can just click and drag it over here. And now Character will always be open if I want. And I can also do that with Paragraph and put it there. So I do use Character and Paragraph a lot, but when I'm editing photos, I don't use them all of the time. So I will just move it and leave it in this tool area right here. And so if I want both of them back in this tool area right here, I can click this second one, and I can either put it below the Character panel, which means when I open Character, it's an individual panel, and the Paragraph is an individual panel. But if I want Character and Paragraph to be both in this window when I open it up, I can click and drag the Paragraph and add it to this window right here. So hover over the Character panel that I just put there. When both the top and the bottom are highlighted blue, I can drop it in there. And now you see they're together. And if I click Character or Paragraph, they're both in there. If I drag Paragraph to the left in front of Character, that becomes this top icon right here. And when it's closed, Paragraph is at the top, Character is at the bottom. But I like Character being at the top. I can also rearrange the size of these panels. The swatches and the colors are nice, but I like having this layers panel right here being larger. We're going to go over the layers panel in a complete section because it's so big and there's a lot of things that you have to do and learn about the layers panel. But basically, this is where our different layers will be. Layers for editing photos or layers for adding shapes, adding multiple photos, adding text. These will all show up in this layers panel, so I want it to be quite big. Another window that I might want to add for editing photos is the histogram. So if I click histogram, it adds it to this bar, but I'm going to want it to be right up here at the very top of my big windows. And the histogram is going to come in handy when I am editing photos. And it also brings up the navigator, which I'm going to add right there too. Say you have this setup and you want to save it so that you could come back to this setup for whatever reason. Maybe someone else uses your computer and they use Photoshop and they mess it up, or maybe this is a specific setup that you want to use when you are editing photos or designing a graphic. You can save this workspace by clicking up here on the right where it says Essentials. Just click this new workspace button right here. This opens up a window where you can rename it. So say I call this Phil's Photo Editing. Then click Save. And now this appears as the workspace. You can get to it here, or you can go up to Window, Workspace, and find the different workspaces that you've saved depending on what type of project you're working on. So that's how you customize your workspace and your panels. If you have any questions, let me know. In the next lesson, we're going to be creating a new Photoshop project from scratch, which is the very first step to creating your own Photoshop project. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in that lesson.